Ladies and gentlemen, the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society, proudly presents to you another excellent episode of 15 Minutes of Fandom. That's right. That's where we take the spotlight and put it on one wrestling fan that we feels stands out from the rest. With that being said, in one corner we have the greatest thing on God's green earth. No, we're not talking about money, Mary Jane, or Popeye spinach. He's the trackle dart of Ringside Society, Delaware's greatest American hero. And whenever he goes to Taco Bell, he asks for a cheap burrito because he loves a combination of chicken and beef. It takes two to make a thing go right. He's Rob Bass, and you are not. And the second corner we have that ocean crossing, straight up Boston, flight catching, shot glass snatching. Where's he going next? Nobody knows. 3 continents down, 3 more to go. No cap, straight facts, the worldwide star boy, Remy Blue. But it's not about us. You see, we have a special guest tonight, a man who has a unique talent because you see, not only is he a wrestling fan like us here at Ringside Society, but he's also, correct us if we're wrong, a game developer. You can see his work on Twitter. Everybody, welcome to the show, Aiden MacLeod. How you doing tonight, sir?
Woo! I'm doing great. Happy to be here, guys.
Awesome, great. Great to have you, man. So, I gotta ask you a question, man. I mentioned it on our previous episode. Are you by any chance related to the MacLeod family? Because if that's the case, you have a really sick line, man. I mean, sick is in cool line. Bloodline.
There can only be one.
You're familiar with the MacLeods, right? Duncan MacLeod, Highlander.
Yeah, my cousin's actually named after him.
Oh wow, that's cool, man. Yeah, for those of you that don't know about that, we highly recommend you check it out. The Highlander series is great, and I always remember when you watch it, there could only be one. So I'm not gonna say what it is, but check it out. You will not be disappointed. But yeah, so you're in Canada, right?
Yes, sir. Proud and right.
Wow. Toronto, Vancouver.
No, I'm ways out from Toronto. I'm in the country.
Okay. Yeah, I used to live in Toronto for like a year and I think roughly a year and a half. Great place, lots of great memories. A lot of people don't give Canada the credit it deserves. I can't wait to go back. I think the first thing I do when I go back, if I land in Toronto in the morning, I'm gonna head to the nearest diner. And I want me a big stack of pancakes, some Canadian bacon, and eggs drenched in syrup. I know it sounds weird, but I'm a foodie, and that's the one thing I can only think of right now. And maybe some Labatt's Blue later on in the day. But love that place, man.
Yeah.
Are you out in the country near Letterkenny?
Not quite Letterkenny way. I'm actually about a stone's throw from the border.
Oh, okay.
Like
45.
Yeah,
I know Letterkenny's somewhere in the country. You got the Trailer Park Boys, but they're in Nova Scotia. They're over there.
Yeah, I'm closer to Letterkenny than Trailer Park Boys, but 45 minutes. I'm in spitting distance of Michigan.
Oh, nice. Wait, that's awesome.
Trailer Park Boys was in. I thought Trailer Park Boys was in like the South.
No, they were in Nova Scotia. But I mean, they had the specials where they went to the U.S. and
I thought they were stuff. I thought they were either in the South or like maybe like let's say like Wyoming or something, somewhere around there, like where the prairies are. Wow, did not know. But yeah, I gotta say, man, hey, thank you for taking time out of your schedule, man. So I gotta say, man, we normally ask 99% of our guests that we have on the show, whether it's on here or our flagship show. How did it all start for you? What was the match or event that you saw with pro wrestling that made you become a fan of it?
Oh, I remember this story very well. I was on a family vacation to Niagara Falls about 12 years ago. So I'm 12 years old at this point. I'm a night owl, so I end up staying up late watching TV, and I'm just browsing through looking for something to do. And I come on SmackDown. And I don't remember if there was a match specifically, but I remember seeing Randy Orton, Big Show, and Alberto Del Rio on the TV. And after watching it for a bit, I kind of grew enraptured with the whole thing. Just like, wow, this is really cool. These guys are beating the living hell out of each other. And they got all this awesome music and lights going on. And then eventually my mom woke up and told me to turn off the TV. So that was something. I had to go to sleep then, but Sometime later, the fire alarm went off in the middle of the night, and we had to
Okay.
evacuate our room. It was a false alarm, but I ended up actually sleeping through the fire alarm. So that's kind of the other big thing I remember.
Okay. Wow. So yeah,
So
it's
luckily there
always
was no real danger.
yeah. Lucky it wasn't. But yeah, so you start 12 years old, so you were roughly around, I guess you could say the like I guess you could say you were roughly around the PG era, so 12 years ago, because the Attitude Era had passed. Um Ruthless
Yeah,
Aggression era had passed.
yeah, it was
But
PG era in the middle of Punk's 434-day reign, because I remember uh, The Rock coming back in the build up to the Rumble that
yeah.
year. It was
That
before Mania 29.
that era was a very weird era though, because it was like you wanted to watch, but you didn't want to watch. It was like it was good, it was bad, it was like, you had so many things going on. Ring of Honor was getting to be known, but people weren't warming up to it. Although there were a lot of classics there, WWE was kind of like, yeah, hit or miss at that time until Punk cut that pipe bomb promo and then started gaining some traction. And then TNA was either like one day they're like headache, they're like headache inducing, and then another time it's like, okay, this is actually really good. So yeah, it was a very weird era, in my opinion.
I remember when I first got into TNA, it was about the tail end of Aces and Eights. Uh, I
Okay,
remember, I remember when Devon got kicked out of the group in that 10-man tag loss.
right.
I remember Chris Sabin's 1 week reign as world champion after he cashed in
Mm,
Option C. That was something.
yeah.
Uh, then Ring of Honor, when I started tuning into that, I think Jay Briscoe just had to give up the title after his injury. So
Okay.
yeah, and it was I was definitely before Cody and the Elite really took over.
Oh yeah. So growing up, what were some of your favorites that you enjoyed watching that you couldn't help but cheer for?
Uh well, hmm. Well, my all-time favorite from my youth was Undertaker. He just had, again, keep in mind I'm 12. He just had that insane vibe to him, like, whoa, this guy is amazing. The lights going out, the like they throw this term around a lot these days, but he had that aura.
Right.
But Kane was another big one, and that love of the supernatural characters is kind of stuck to me ever since, because now I stick to mostly TNA, and my favorites there are Crazy Steve and Rosemary.
Okay.
Uh,
Wow. So I think you were a fan of the Fiend, and one of your favorite matches was the Firefly Funhouse match with John Cena and Bray Wyatt, right?
oh, I actually didn't watch much of main roster Bray Wyatt. I stopped watching WWE when the Shield split.
Okay.
So I actually missed like a good chunk of WWE's post PG renaissance, like with the Four Horsewomen and Bray Wyatt and all this stuff on the main roster. I can certainly appreciate the creativity, but I actually wasn't that big of a fan of Bray down in NXT.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could only imagine how far he could have gone if he hadn't passed away, because I'm sure they had a lot of great things planned for him, especially with the way they brought him back.
Yeah.
I only hope that his brother is able to, because I heard rumor that his brother is Uncle Howdy, and I hope he could keep that up, because I always felt like Bo Dallas never got a fair shake, and if so one thing I always say, I'll never comment on a wrestler's in-ring ability. I never would. But when it comes to booking or creating characters, I know for a fact I would have a good run, and I can give some of them in WWE a run for their money. That's because I remember I used to be like, wait a minute, I could do something with this person, put them with this person, make them this tag team, or I could do something with that person, put them in a stable, just to get this one person over. Then eventually they branch off. You know, um, I think there was much more they could have done with Bo Dallas, though.
Yeah.
So, in regards to wrestling, have you ever gone to any of the wrestling shows live, or have you only just seen them on TV?
I was actually at Under Siege last year in London, Ontario, as well as the TV taping afterward. I had a great time
Okay.
there. Fun story. When we returned for the TV taping, me, my dad, and my two brothers, we actually had issues with our tickets. So the guy running the ticket table, he goes and gets George Iceman, who is now the personal concierge of Ash by Elegance. And
Okay.
he helps us get our tickets sorted out. And not only does he do that, he moves us to behind the commentary table. So he actually got us better seats.
Hey, okay.
It
That's
was,
what's up.
I shook his hand on the way out. It was really nice. And now he's got this big on-screen role as the personal concierge. He's killing it.
Yeah, that's why I love. That's why I love doing this, like podcasts like this, because you never know where somebody is gonna be, like in the future. You know, like we have had people that have gone on to sign a WB and AEW and um, MLW and so on, and it's just like, wow, we just had that person on here shooting the breeze about their career. Like we've had one person that was on this same episode, I told you before we got on air. We had one person that was a guest on 15 Minutes of Fandom, and then he went on to become a wrestler with training at the Nightmare Factory with Cody Rhodes and them.
Oh, cool.
And he's made several appearances on AEW. He even crafted the Dynamite. I don't know if you watch AEW. You watch AEW, right?
Yes, I do.
So the diamond ring that MJF has,
The Dynamite Diamond Ring?
yeah, our former guest, crafted that, and his name is the Diamond Sheik. Awesome guy, so awesome that he is the first wrestler that we've ever had a shirt inspired by. So
Awesome.
definitely great guy. Shout out to Diamond Sheik. But yeah, the bottom line is, man, you know, we just enjoy doing this because like I said, you just it's great to hear everybody's stories. You know, like how you told us about your story with Under Siege. We like hearing stories like those, and you know, like I said, you never know where somebody's going to be in the future. So, in regards to
I can actually let you know where I'll be in the future. Collision is coming to Butt Gardens on the 30th. I'll be there.
awesome, that's cool. That's awesome. I like that.
Collision doesn't air in Canada, so like this is a rare chance to see an AEW thing live in person because you know Dynamite's always doing the big cities like Toronto.
Right. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you got. I always said that, you know, if I were AEW, I would actually try to do like more of a tour of Canada because y'all have an incredible scene over there. A lot of history, a lot of rich history people don't know about. Most people know about, oh, but the Hart family. But if you look, there's also the Rougeau family from Quebec, well, Montreal, Quebec. So, I mean, and then, where am I? What's wrong with me? There's also the Vachon family with Luna Vachon and them. I believe they're from Canada too. So, I think so. Y'all don't quote me on it, but I believe they are. I believe they're from Canada. So, if they are, that's another family too. So, but regardless, I mean, pardon?
French Canadian.
Yeah. So, you know, I've always thought, and I'm not saying this because you're Canadian, you're on our show. Like I've always felt that y'all have a great wrestling scene there, and I hope one day I can actually get to, you know, see it up close and personal as a fan as well too. So I just got a few more questions before Rob actually, because Rob is gonna ask you about the gaming stuff. I'm not gonna touch that because he loves games. He loves, PlayStation, all that stuff. So, but in regards to in regards to wrestling, right? Have you ever gotten to meet any of your favorites growing up, like Undertaker or any of the?
No, my first time going to a show was actually Under Siege. Well, no, not Under Siege. My first time going to it was a WWE live show way back years ago, like when Total Divas was new. Sandow was Mr. Money in the Bank at that point, but we didn't meet any of the wrestlers, and I haven't since then. But I've actually gotten likes on Twitter from some wrestlers and replies on Reddit from some, so that was pretty cool.
Oh, that's awesome. So one thing I'm gonna ask you about gaming before I turn it over to Rob. Um, how excited are you for WWE 2K24? Did you get it yet, or?
I don't have it yet because I suffer from a horrible case of broke.
Oh, we all do. Trust me.
But yeah, 2K24 looks incredible. All the new additions, the upgraded My GM, casket match, ambulance match. What was that other new one? That special guest ref coming back. The improvements to the tag matches looks great because I remember when I was playing 20 and 22, tag matches would just take eons. My Rise looks absolutely nutty, especially the women's story. And I will say, though, the one thing that I'm a little upset about is the DLC packs on offer, because some of the packs are really good, like the ECW Punk pack, the WCW pack, Global Superstars. Those are great. But then pack 3, I just found out earlier today, is confirmed to be just Pat McAfee and the co-host of his show. So for most people, that's basically just going to be a moves pack. At most, you can maybe take some pieces of their videos from their entrances and use those in other entrances just for like color matching and stuff. But really, who's going to be using any of those characters other than Pat McAfee?
Yeah, true. We're gonna so in regards to that, I have a special announcement on that. I know you've seen it, Aiden. But before we get into that, before we make that announcement, of course, I gotta let Rob get his questions. I know Rob has a bunch of questions for you. So Rob, go ahead, man. The floor is yours.
All right, sweet. Thanks, Remy. So what's going on, man? How you doing today?
I'm doing
How's
good, Rob. How
Canada
are
treating
you?
you? I'm well, just hanging out, chatting. Beagles are, my beagles are nice and quiet, laying down, sleeping, so pretty good. So how was your day today, man? Was it an eventful day, man? Just another more, same old, or anything crazy happen?
Well, I'm actually on break from school right now because I got the
Oh, sweet.
week off for March. So I've just been relaxing. It's been a pretty chill day, other than one thing, but it's unrelated.
Yeah, that's cool, man. So yeah, I'm all for that. So you were talking about, growing up, Undertaker was like, your favorite stuff. And I've got a good Undertaker story, man. I got it'll kind of back in the day. It'll talk about how he felt no pain. All right. So when I was in like sixth grade, this is back in like man, 93, 4, 5, or whatever. It was Undertaker versus Diesel, Kevin Nash in the casket match. And the tour, whatever, WWE tour came to my high school, local high school, where I go to school at and stuff. And also all of us kids, we got our parents, get us some tickets and all, drop us off there. We're all sitting there and all. And after every match, we get out, run to run out back, try to catch some wrestlers leaving and stuff, and then go back to our seats. Well, Undertaker and Diesel, they had their casket match. Undertaker wins, so they get done and stuff. We're like, yeah, let's go try to see the Undertaker and stuff. We go out back to see the Undertaker and stuff. Him and Paul Bearer start walking out, and they weren't like like, oh, my Undertaker. They're over there arguing over who had the last of the vodka. Like, I didn't have the last of it, man. I get left it with you and stuff. No. So it's like, that's why he feels no pain. You know what I mean? That's why he feels no pain. I was like, that's awesome.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. And then Diesel, he drove by. He had to go to the hospital because he got busted open and he had to get stitches. And he was in a rent a car. He was in a Camaro. Diesel's like 7 feet tall, so he had the seat all the way back. And when he was driving by us, his knees, they were all the way up like on his chest, pretty much like that. And he's just like, I was like, how do you do that, man? You gotta get a van or SUV or something, man.
Wow.
You know what I mean? As much as I like sports cars, you know what I mean? I was like, if I'm 7 feet, you know what I mean? I'm all right, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you're talking about your favorites when you were a kid, man. So who are you rooting for today? Is there anybody your favorites today?
In TNA, it would have to be the digital media champion, Crazy Steve,
Mhm.
as well as Decay, Rosemary, and Havoc. I also really like Black Taurus when he was in the group, but now he's apparently signed to AEW and he's going to be getting repackaged. As for AEW, Darby Allin, praying to God he doesn't not die on his trip to Mount Everest. Cannot
Yes.
believe he's doing that. Oh, we have 2 Remys.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, he's like Flash and Reverse Flash. I mean, sometimes getting in a multiverse.
Deonna Purrazzo, who recently just jumped from TNA to AEW, big fan of her. Orange Cassidy and Best Friends, been fans of them since the beginning. Shame that Chuck's on the IR right now, and him and Trent can't be in the tag title tournament. But Trent and OC is a good team too.
Speaking of Trent, I think I seen oh man, I can't remember what it was on. I think it was him today. Somebody posted an old clip. It was on like Twitter or Instagram. He was on an old MTV show called Live Silence in the Library or whatever, where it had a couple a bunch of WWE guys had like Dolph Ziggler and stuff, and they're in the library and they're trying not to laugh or whatever, and trying to win money for charity. And some lady come in with nunchucks made of sausage. It was beating them up with it and stuff, and they're trying not to laugh and stuff. You know what I mean? If they're going over, Decibel's like, "Oh, you're out, you're out." You know, but he held it together. You know what I mean? Won $400 for him, but yeah, it was funny. I was like, you mentioned him and all. I was like, I think that was him today. Man. That's pretty cool.
That sounds like something MTV would do.
Yeah, this is when MTV before it was right after they stopped doing music videos, and it was all like ridiculousness. Started doing stuff like that, and so yeah. I can't remember what it was called. It was like a library something. It had I remember the show, but I can't remember what it was called. So you're talking about like you're talking about WWE 24 and stuff, man. I see. I haven't gotten it yet or whatever. I'm kind of waiting. I like to wait nowadays, for a game to come out and make sure there ain't no game breaking glitches and stuff like that. So.
Oh yeah, totally understandable.
Yeah. I haven't even upgraded to the current gen. I mean, I still got my Xbox One, but I'm playing my Switch. I got that because a lot of the games, they're like the pay, you go pay for all this, like FIFA or something. You can instead of being your skill base, you can just go buy all your stats stuff, be dominant. Spend $10,000 and be like top of the world and stuff like that. Like the microtransaction stuff. I'm like so I like and I played a lot of wrestling games and stuff and all. So I gotta ask, being in the gaming thing. What are your like favorite wrestling games? Do you have like a top favorites? Is there some you can go back to anytime, pick up? Like even back to old school NES. If you played that or something.
Well, I've only had 4 wrestling games in my life: WWE 2K22, 2K20, and my first 2 were SmackDown versus Raw 07 and 11 on the Wii.
Okay.
So
those. Oh no, go ahead.
So those were my introduction to wrestling games: SVR 07 and 11.
So on 7, man, did you play the GM mode a lot? Back in the day, were you trying to get win the whatever it is? Which one was 07? No, 8 had ECW. 07 was still SmackDown versus Raw, right?
Actually, it might have been 08. Now that you mention ECW, because I remember, I think I had a game with Lashley on the cover.
Okay, yeah, I remember one of them. I remember one of them had you could do the GM.
It was that I had Cena, Taker, and Lashley.
Yeah, because I remember the ECW one. I remember I was like, man, you only have the ECW championship. You don't have any tag teams. You don't have a TV championship or nothing. I was like, ugh. I was like, man, it's gonna be hard to win with this one.
Yeah, I played SVR 11 more than 07 or 08 because 08 actually had motion controls.
Okay.
And I couldn't quite wrap my head around the motion controls. Oh, we lost Remy. I couldn't wrap my head around the motion controls for 08, so I stuck to 11 mostly. I had a lot of fun with the Road to WrestleMania mode in that game.
I like those Road to WrestleMania, thing when games, when they do them, sometimes. what was the one? They had the Austin one. That one was pretty cool. 16, I think. I played that one. That was all right. It was pretty good. I like those. Now there's a wrestling thing, Fire Pro Wrestling. I love playing it because you can do it like a GM mode where you're like the owner or whatever. It's like pretty much total control. You sign your people, you give them extensions. You can upgrade your gym. You can upgrade this, that, and other. You got to build your fans up against people all over the world. If you ever get to check out that game, I mean, definitely check it out, Fire Pro.
I've heard really good things about Fire Pro.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to play, like if you're pick up wrestling stuff. It's like you got kind of do combinations, like your Mortal Kombat or whatever. But if you're like want to do a simulation, like man, let me see how I can run da da da. And somebody has created like almost every wrestler you can think of on there. So if you want to be like old school Undertaker, you can go in there and like just download old school Undertaker. There you go. So I gotta ask, being in the game and doing gaming stuff, man. Have you done anything that we would know about? Have you been in any cool games, or are you working on anything coming out?
Was for what I'm working on right now. It's just a solo project being done with RPG Maker.
Okay.
But for 4 months, for a internship with my college, I was actually a quality assurance tester for Blue Owl Studios. That's the team behind Slender: The Arrival.
Mm-hmm.
They just had their big 10-year anniversary update for the game.
Okay. So how was that, man? Interning up there doing for that? How was it? What was that experience like?
It was a lot of fun. My hosts were very nice. They were very understanding that my computer wasn't exactly the best. For the most part, I was working on quality assurance with their new FPS game Leap.
Mm-hmm.
And when I wasn't doing the QA and making sure that the the PvE mode, Spec Ops, was working properly, I was also doing community game nights. And that was where I would really get destroyed. I am not a good shooter guy. I'm more of an RPG man. I am a tactician. I think, I plan. When it comes to FPS games, I am almost, specifically in PvP, I am almost invariably the guy who takes 2 steps up from a wall and gets shot in the head.
Yeah, that pretty much sounds like me, man. If I play Call of Duty or something, I mean, I'm dead real quick. I remember playing with some friends, I mean, my buddy's sitting over my shoulder, like, do you see that guy right there? I mean, I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I don't see anybody. I'm like, oh, okay, now I do. Yeah, now I do. I didn't see nothing before. I can't, I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, and with how my computer was, it's a all-in-one PC. It's not exactly the best when it comes to specs. I'd be lucky to get 30 frames a second on most maps, and the snowy mountain map, Mount Polaris, I think it was called. I'd be lucky to get 20. It was a slideshow. That map comes up in rotation. First thing I'm doing is I'm opening the chat and I'm typing.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
That is how slow my computer is on that map.
Oh man.
But yeah, when I was playing Leap, mostly I would use the what is here? The Pathfinder class is a sort of a jack of all trades kind of character. I bring the regular assault rifle, but I mostly stuck to the shotgun. It's just point and click.
There you go. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Now I gotta ask, do you before I pass it on to Remy, do you ever check out any? Have you checked out any indie shows, or is there any like indie companies near you that you get to check out? Because indie wrestling, that's where the future stars come from. You can be over there like, oh man, this dude was good, or this guy was good, and then a couple weeks later, like, man, I saw her, kicking butt. Da, 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 da. Are there do stuff like that go on? Stuff like that happen around where you are, or anything like that?
I live in the middle of nowhere, so the closest shows are really like county fair kind of deals.
Okay.
But I haven't been to any of those. I weirdly do get International Wrestling Syndicate and Smash on TV sometimes. And some people I remember seeing on Smash years ago were actually Butcher and the Blade, long before they signed AEW. And I think I think it was after Blade left TNA where I saw him there. But I remember when he turned on Psycho Mike Rollins.
Okay, man, that's pretty good, man. Yeah, I always like that. When I see a wrestler, from back in the day doing something crazy, and I'm like, hey, I remember them from when they were just doing this, that, and other. Like, oh man, that's pretty cool. I'm glad they doing their thing. Achieving their dreams and stuff, man. I'm all for that.
Yeah, I also remember back when I watched Ring of Honor before Tony Khan bought it, when it was still able to watch it on TV. I remember seeing all these guys coming over from New Japan for their excursions. I remember Takaki Watanabe, aka Evil, Kama Itachi, Hiromu Takahashi, Juice, Finley, Sho and Yo. Back then they were called the Tempura
Teriyaki Boys.
Members. So stop in, dig in. And now
it was really cool to see all of these talents coming over. And a similar thing happened with Sonata when Impact was partnered with Wrestle One, Muda's old promotion. It was really interesting to get that kind of glimpse into a different world of wrestling.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. Yeah, man. When you talking about Ring of Honor, man, I always gotta mention my guys, man. I'm from Delaware, and they're like, cut right down the road from me, man. The Briscoes, you know what I mean? Top 5 dead or alive, you know what I mean? R.I.P.J. He's trained a lot of my guys, a lot of friends of mine and stuff, man. So yeah, man, yeah, Briscoes, yeah. Always got root for the Briscoes, man. So before I pass it on back to Remy, man, I want to say, thank you very much for, taking time out of your busy schedule, coming on chat with us, man. I had a blast, talking about some wrestling, video gaming, all that good stuff. I wish you nothing but the best. I hope you get to, work for any game you want, get to achieve your dreams in the gaming world, and I hope you get to travel everywhere, to see your wrestling wherever you need to go and stuff, man. I hope you and your family, I wish nothing but the best.
You too.
Yeah, was it the Teriyaki Boys or was it the
Tempura Boys?
Tempura. I know it's under the T. Tempura. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of. I was a huge fan of Yo and Show. When I first saw them several years ago as young boys in New Japan, I was like the chemistry they had as a tag team. I was like, those guys are gonna go far. And then I saw that they stuck with it and became the Tempura Boys, and then they came back as Roppongi 3K, and I was like, what? And I immediately bought that Roppongi 3K T-shirt. And I was living in Japan at the time. I was stationed in Japan. I was in Sasebo, but I used to go to Tokyo and Osaka a lot. And I remembered working out at the gym 24/7. Their theme song was actually one of my workout songs. Great memories of those guys. Sad that they actually split, but hopefully they get to they reunite eventually, which I think they will. I don't know. Hopefully they do though. But yeah. But I just gotta say, man, hey, Aiden, thanks a lot for taking time out of your busy schedule to be a guest on our show. We really and truly appreciate it. We always enjoy talking to fans, especially fans that are overseas or north of the border in your case. We really and truly do appreciate it. Hopefully we have you back on for hopefully we can have you back on for one of our prediction shows later on down the line. But we're very grateful for this opportunity. So with that being said, before we shut this show down, where can fans find you on social media when they want to talk wrestling, check out your work as a game developer or gaming, all that good stuff?
I can be found at MacLeod art_biz on Twitter, and well, actually, that's pretty much it. I do have a coffee account as well, but it's currently closed down for some reworking.
Okay.
So there's also that. I'll definitely need to put on an announcement when I do reopen that. But yeah, I would love to be back for a prediction show. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Awesome. So well, y'all heard he's definitely on social media. Check him out on Twitter. Really great guy. If you're into gaming, definitely a guy to talk to about that or wrestling. Definitely shoot him a follow and all that. And speaking of gaming, so Aiden, I know you know about this. Rob, you probably know about you should know about this. Um, but we actually have, and when I say you should, I mean I know you're busy and everything with refereeing, but we actually have right now as we speak a poll going out for WWE 2K24. We're actually we so since it's actually our 5 year anniversary of the podcast,
Oh,
it'll be
congratulations.
5 years on the 31st of March. Thanks. Um, we figured, hey, you know something? Let's be nice, show our gratitude to those of y'all that actually followed us, liked our stuff, been on our show, all that good stuff. We figured we'd do another giveaway. We've done these in the past before, and we're gonna be doing it for WB 2K24. So, but we need a bit of a we need a bit of a decision to be made, and we need y'all's help out there, you the fans, the people watching from the comfort of your homes or wherever, to help us with this. So we have a poll going up, and if it's for WWE 2K24, and we're deciding if we should give it away for PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, or both PS4 and PS5. So it's on Twitter right now. I believe it's 4 days or almost 3 or 4 days are left. Definitely check out the poll. It's pinned on our profile. Make the choice. If you want it for PS4, choose PS4, choose PS5. Or if you want it for both, choose both. If you choose both, that means we're gonna be giving away two copies of that, one for each platform. So definitely go ahead, check that out, retweet it, retweet it to everybody else. And if you want, like I said, I mean, you want as much people to participate in this giveaway. But there's another thing too. You In order to enter, because it's actually a raffle of sorts, there's going to be three, four, or five questions. I don't know, depending on what our other the rest of our team decides. We're still deciding on the amount of questions, but there's going to be either three, four, or five questions that you got to get all right. But they're going to be on WrestleMania questions. So
Ah,
um, Google's your best friend. Google as much as you can. Ask your friends, ask your family, ask your elder relative that was there for WrestleMania 1, because questions can come from WrestleMania 1, or they can come from WrestleMania 39. They could be from WrestleMania 15, or maybe what was dubbed the worst WrestleMania, WrestleMania 9. Or maybe it was the boyhood dream WrestleMania. That's WrestleMania 12 with Shawn Michaels. The questions can come from any WrestleMania. So make Google your friend, do your research, because in order you have to answer all those questions right. Once you answer all those questions right, we will then put you in the running to win a copy of the WWE 2K24. Um, and whoever wins can also probably get another appearance here on Ringside Society. So there's a lot going on with it. Like I said, we want a lot of people in it. Check it out, y'all. If you voted already, retweet it to all your friends. Trust me, we're big on fan interaction. So that's what we got going on right now. So, and the drawing will be done on Instagram Live. So it'll be done on Instagram Live. So, and we'll do it in front of y'all too. It's not going to be anything rigged or anything. We're definitely going to be, Rob, you know what we've done before. We're going to have the big bowl and everything. We're going to have the names in it. We're going to shake it up, shake it up. I'm not even going to look into it. I'm just going to pick out a name. Boom. That's it. So, yeah, that's what we have going on. So definitely check us out. And best of luck to those y'all that actually decide to enter. So with that being said, it's about time for us to shut this show down. My eyes are getting heavy. My stomach is rumbling. That means it's time for dinner and a nap. Can't believe I hadn't had dinner yet. But before I partake in those activities, Rob Bass, the Mel Gibson to my Danny Glover, the Charlie Haas to my Shelton Benjamin, and the Sean Spencer to my Burton Gus. So where can fans find you on social media when they want to talk wrestling, find out where your next appearances, purchase Rob Bass merchandise, and where can bookers and promoters find you when they want to book you for their shows?
All right, you can catch me on Twitter and Instagram at Rob_base82, Facebook Rob Base, and this Saturday you can catch me in Harrington, Delaware, 1CW, refing, refing the show. Doors open at 5. Showtime starts at 6. If you can't make it to the show, we have, it's a TV taping, so all you gotta do is go to DelmarvaSportsNetwork.com. You can access. We have a vault you can access. From episode 1 all the way to now, so you can catch up with all the storylines. What's going on, who's feuding with who, and all that good stuff. So yeah, definitely check that out. And yep, that's it right now.
Yeah, so 1CW, y'all check them out. They're doing a lot of great things. WrestleMania week, they have a 4 promotion show, a joint show between 4 promotions. We've already had one of the promoters on our show earlier tonight. Check out that episode. It's a 4-part series, so there's going to be 3 other people in that series. We're going to have the 3 other promoters on, so make sure you watch each one. Like I said before, if you've watched all 4 of them, you have to go to the show, man. It's only you'll feel incomplete if you don't go. So go. I mean, if you can't make it, fine. If you're all the way in California, you don't have the money to go, then fine. But if you're nearby, you have the money. It's only right that you go. And besides, you won't get bored. Trust me on that. But definitely check out 1CW. And with that being said, if you want to find me on social media, not that I say a lot of cool things, but I do go to a couple of cool places every now and then. You can definitely find me on Twitter and Instagram at @TheRemyBlue. You can also find me on Facebook under the alias Remy Blue as well. And our podcast is also on social media. We're on Twitter and Instagram at Ringside Society, Twitch at Ringside Society 2019. We're on Facebook as a Facebook group, and we're also on Spotify and Teespring, where we sell official Ringside Society merchandise. We have many great designs, many more coming up. St. Patrick's Day is coming up as well. We have the Ringside Society St. Patrick's Day shirt. I have it somewhere upstairs. I'm not going to try to get it right now, though. And last but not least, we have a YouTube channel where we have cool interviews like this one, like the one we just had with, Sean Hardy, and many other great men and women in the world of professional wrestling, wrestlers and fans alike. You can find all those interviews on YouTube, and to see them, it's really simple. It's not rocket science. It's not algebra. All you gotta do is go on YouTube, type in Ringside Society, and once you see that really good looking dark blue and light blue yin yang sound with the blue flames around it, that's when you know it's us. So make sure you subscribe to all our videos, because we got a lot of cool stuff coming up, and you don't want to miss a thing like Aerosmith in 1998. So with that being said, we just want to thank everybody tuning in live tonight. Thank you very much. We strive on being one of the best wrestling podcasts a wrestling fan could, should, and would listen to. We're not going to stop being that. To those of y'all that are listening later on, you get a chance. Thank you very much in advance. And those y'all that hate us, can't stand us, really and truly wish we'd go away. Well, like myself at the Golden Corral and Rob Bass at a taco festival, we're not going anywhere for a while.
They hate us because they ain't us.
And we ain't stopping. You think they'd get it by now? 5 years you've been around. But with that being said, we just want to let everybody know that we're very well and with everybody and their grandparents, and their parents have a podcast. But we're not your grandparents' podcast. We're not your parents' podcast. As a matter of fact, we're not just any podcast. Hashtag, we are not the same. Hey, yo, Rob Bass, one time for the mind, one time for the people, one time for the wrestling culture, one time for the great wrestling fans and people overall of Canada, and one time for the ever so talented Aiden MacLeod.
Woo!
What type of podcast are we?
We're the Wrestling Fans Podcast.
That's right. We're the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society. And we'll be back later on this week with another impressive guest on another impressive episode. But until then, we just have 4 favors for y'all. Stay safe, stay healthy, be excellent to each other, and enjoy wrestling. We're out. Peace.
See y'all. Good night.
Take care.
Classy, Delaware.